It's pretty hot right now. It's pretty hot. Now that it's starting to like get into actual summer, so is what it is. But I want to talk about something. I guess it's kind of a thing. It's been like a tradition, whatever, one of those rite of passage kind of moments for a couple of decades now. That as soon as you are like your teenager starts to drive, you take them down to the auto parts store and you tell them to run in and get you some blinker fluid, which is, of course, something that does not exist. And in the process, of course, exploiting their ignorance of cars and engines, exploiting their ignorance of kind of the world around you, as well as kind of exploiting their trust in you. And then sending them in there, of course, that's not a real thing. They get humiliated, embarrassed, then they come back outside. And that frustrates me. Because why would you do something like that to a person where now they're going to be intimidated about going into any shop or taking their car into the dealer or to the wherever to get work done on it, because they're going to be afraid to ask questions now out of fear of sounding stupid. It's going to make it easier for those mechanics and those people that work on cars to take advantage of them, to continue to exploit that ignorance and exploit that trust that you have to have in somebody that has greater knowledge than you. And as well as it's just kind of a misuse of the authority and the responsibility of what a parent and a mentor should be. That's kind of what I'm coming at this from, because I've been in the shop or in the auto parts store a lot over the last week or so because car trouble, basically. It happens partially, like it's been this whole thing, not necessarily part of the story, except that because I've been in a lot, I've seen a lot of stuff happening at those stores. Been in like sometimes multiple times a day, multiple times a week, and you see this, like there was this instance of that precise thing happening, and outside in the car, the dad, presumably the uncle and older brother, are laughing at the expense of this teenage girl who obviously didn't know better. And it's just really sad, because that seems to be the primary modus operandi of the older generations bringing the younger generations into something. Whether that's taking your kids snipe hunting, or like it's that because my parents were garbage and they treated me poorly, they exploited me, they took advantage of my trust in them and my ignorance of the world, my naivete. Because they did that to me, I am now obligated to continue that malicious, destructive cycle with my own children, rather than thinking critically as a human being and wanting to do something that actually helps them. Maybe walk them in and say, like actually teach them something like how to change the oil on a car. Maybe try to teach them some of these things, because quite frankly, what are you here for if all you're going to do is tell bad jokes, dad jokes, and then laugh at your kid's expense? Like, that's not good parenting. And the generations that are alive now have suffered from it, to the point where either they don't want kids because they're afraid of screwing them up the way that you screwed them up, which, granted, everyone's going to screw up their kids. There's no way around that. You're going to mess up your kids. You're going to do the wrong thing. You're going to say stupid stuff. Like, that's just, you're still a human being. No way around that. But there's a fine line between doing things on purpose that are obviously harmful and doing things by accident, which you then can ask for forgiveness from. If you're a grown person, if you have maturity inside you, you're like, you know what, Dad is sorry. That was wrong of me. I should not have done this way. Can you forgive me? That's what adults do. But we seem to have a lot of grown children that are just recycling the bad, broken things that were given to them, rather than, I mean, go out and read a book. Sacred Parenting by Gary Thomas, or I mean, just the Bible as well. It's got some good stuff in there, but like, there's so much resources out there. The internet is so full of resources that there's no excuse for these kind of just poor excuses to keep perpetuating. There's really not. And you might say, like, well, it's just in good fun. Is it? Because is it really possible for something to be just harmless when it has such significant ramifications to it? So, I mean, you can downplay it all you want. That's why it's my channel. I get to say what I want. And I don't know, if you think I'm wrong, tell me how below. And I don't know. Stop telling your kids to go in and get blinker fluid, or all just why?